Welcome back. Yes, I am buzzing this morning because we have got a lineup of the most amazing human beings sitting on this couch today. Every day across South Africa, there are amazing unsung heroes doing incredible work to protect our people, our wildlife, our natural spaces that we value, I think, so much more now. But what if their efforts could be supercharged with some major global support? Well, today we are joined by someone who is in himself supercharged. He is all about rising to the occasion. Mr. BMT, former Springbok legend and global defender, ambassador and awards panelist, Brian Habana. He's here to tell us more about how local change makers can step into the spotlight and win big. Can we give him the 3,444th round of applause on the show, please? Thank you. I was joking about not having a studio audience, but one has kind of appeared, as it does when you arrive. How are you, my friend?
Great, it is. I'm good, really good. It's a little bit cold and wet, so driving all the way from Stellenbosch was an interesting dive into Cape Town, but life is good.
As much as people at Stellenbosch will tell you, it's not another country, bro. It's like 45 minutes away.
Well, I did have to get my passport stamped at the R300. Just coming
That being said, do you know what city you're in right now? I always only see you in airports. Clearly one of the busiest men in the country, man.
I want to say you sound like Janine, my wife, now. No, I know I'm in Cape Town. I'm flying out this evening, but yeah, I think it's good to be in the mother city, the best city in the world, according to some very famous publications, which is really cool.
Yeah, and the right people, the people who matter.
Definitely.
We love you, Guy, and we love you making the moves. And obviously, we chat a lot about what you've been doing post-rugby and amazing moves in that space. This feels global. This feels unbelievably powerful because I know the network that you are representing in this space. So fill us in, please. The Defender Awards. To see a smile like this on your face, this must be very big.
I think I'm firstly exceptionally proud to be a part of a global campaign that is touching South Africa. I think for South Africa to be chosen out of one of 7 countries, for Defender to play that impetus and alongside conservation and humanitarian champions in Ross Holgate from the Kingsley Holgate Foundation and the Tusk Trust, who are conservation champions in Africa. They've got some phenomenal patrons, with Prince William being one of them. And I think for us to be able to look at, to your point, change makers doing phenomenal work in various elements, whether it be humanitarian, whether it be the wildlife. And as South Africans, we know how important wildlife is. I mean, I raced against a cheetah a number of years ago, and I think, understanding how sort of nature conservation plays an integral part. We've seen the negative impact of, the rhinos and what that has meant over the last 20, 30 years. And then land and sea, I think, where we, as South Africans, we're just so in touch with our beautiful landscape, and to be able to reward on a global scale those change makers doing the most incredible work at the grassroots level, where they don't potentially always get recognized. And Defender coming on board with some phenomenal prizes, which we'll chat about later, but also the support, to be able to make that impact reach even further. And as a global ambassador, a part of a brand that's been impactful from, I think, 1954 with the British Red Cross, Tusk Conservation.
Purpose-driven.
Extremely purpose-driven, but very direct in what they want to see in making this world a better place. And again, for me as a South African, knowing that our country is being elevated alongside 6 other countries globally, it's pretty special.
It feels okay to see you on that list. If you haven't gotten used to being on the same list as Prince William by now, buddy, that's for the rest of us. We get surprised when we're on that list, but maybe not you. No, you are on that list. South Africa is on that list, and it might be because of the role that we can potentially play. And I'm realizing more and more that's maybe the era of let's take it on board and do it for ourselves. If we're going to hang our hat on ecotourism, then let's get it right. You're a panelist. How are you going to do this, Guy? How are you going to put yourself through that?
Well, I think between myself, Ross, and the Tusk Trust, we've got a massive responsibility on our shoulders. So, in those 4 different silos or categories, whether it be humanitarian, wildlife, land, or sea, to be able to select 2 finalists from each category that goes onto the global stage, with only 1 from South Africa becoming a winner, it's a massive responsibility. But given, hopefully, our understanding within both the humanitarian and conservation space, looking at what's happening on a global level, but really getting to the nitty-gritty of what makes South Africa important. So is it an easy task? Definitely not. Are myself, Ross, and the Tusk Trust up for it? 100%. But hopefully there is a numerous number of entries into what is going to be a phenomenal competition where a global winner from South Africa will be announced towards the end of this year, which I'm looking forward to. Listen, if you face the haka, I think challenges like this
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll brush it off. But you know what strategic network will give you. They'll be on the list.
Yeah.
And what that can do for a small organization that's already proven itself through all the hard challenges and now just need the funding or that network to release. Amazing. How can people, we want you to go through hell because there are so many people and so many amazing organizations doing this. So how can people?
So people can get to landrover.co.za/defender-awards. I think, put those applications in, tell us about that phenomenal work. Give us a showcase of whether it be videos, photography, whatever that might be, to give us a better understanding. The more applications we get, to your point, the harder our life becomes. And there are some really cool prizes off. And I think that's the main thing. So it's one thing applying, it's another thing understanding what truly is up for grabs. And
take us through it.
So I must say, I want to take my hat off to Defender on a global stage. So the winner from South Africa, which will be one of 7 global winners alongside the likes of the UK, France, Australia, Italy. I mean, on the global stage, the winner will get the use of a Defender vehicle to make sure that they can get to
wherever.
The toughest of terrains. They need to be 24 months worth of mentorship through various opportunities, the likes of myself, Ross Holgate, the Tusk Trust.
Brilliant.
But then the most important, and I think to expand reach, the financial impetus is probably the biggest need. And Defender have said that each winner, 7 of them will be getting £100,000, Graham Richards. That's a lot of South African rands, over 2.4 million South African rand.
I was about to say, bandwidth just went like this as everyone got onto Google. What is the exchange rate right now?
And I think just knowing that element of reward for the work you're doing, for the change that you're literally making in this world, is something that can make a massive difference to where that goes. And I think for us as panelists, it's going to be a difficult decision, but knowing what the eventual outcome is of those change makers being able to expand their reach even more is pretty special.
Because you also, you work in that kind of tip of the spear space where you get to see, like I do very much so, the becoming of things. So we understand how these moves matter, the knock-on effect, the butterfly effect, if you will. These are some pretty big butterfly wings with 100,000 pounds playing. That's amazing. So what do you look for then as a panelist? And maybe this is something, and I'm speaking to young South Africans who are more purpose-driven now than they ever have been. If they want to have impact, if they want to make their way into this space and be recognized by the Defender Awards, what would you recommend? What are you going to be looking for?
So I think authenticity in your delivery, I think, is exceptionally important. Not delivery in terms of how you speak, but delivery in terms of the impact that you're making.
Your value proposition.
Your value proposition. And whether you're a small-scale charity, an NGO, or an individual that really is going out there and making a true difference in your community, which I think is incredibly important. I think the authenticity around how you're actually impacting and what the long-term effect of your impact becomes incredibly important. And I think there will be some key metrics that we look at in terms of the numbers that you reach, the width and the breadth that you reach, and the communities that you impact. And for us as panelists, we want to make our job extremely hard because of so many phenomenal entries. And knowing the humanitarian and conservation space in South Africa, having been with Defender, particularly through COVID, going through that humanitarian aid relief effort, both in South Africa and in the UK. I mean, I got to see firsthand how tough the situation is out there, and people willing to get their hands dirty, not sitting in a back office, shouting and barking orders from behind, but really getting to the depths of that scale of impact is going to be incredibly important. So yes, the task is difficult, but one that I'm exceptionally excited about, because just understanding what that opportunity is for the winner to scale up their impact to even greater lengths, Graham, is going to be pretty special.
Oh, I love you, man. Just looking at your eyes, Brian. I know it's been a while, so I always get a little emotional when I stare into your beautiful eyes.
I'm looking at your kit, I'm looking at the copper you got in design. I'm like, can I maybe swap Graham Richards' wardrobe for mine today?
No, don't worry. I'm about to swap my entire wardrobe, so stick around, man. I love this for you. I know where your heart lies, and this allows you to pause the ridiculous amount of energy that you have into something else. But I'm just thinking of the Mar Lillians and Athlone that have been looking after the ECDs, that have been making that impact, that now get the opportunity. Big guns, small guns, we want all of those making impact in the spaces around us to step up. If you know someone who is doing powerful work in the humanitarian space, in the conservation space, in the human space, on land, by sea, we don't care. If it's in the wild, even better. This is your chance to turn passion into impact. Good luck.
The Defender Awards are incredibly important in helping to shine a spotlight on the amazing work of some incredible individuals.
When you are an organization or a team doing something great to get funding of your project, it is really important.
Charities need initiatives like this to make a difference in the work they're involved in.